Ladies and gents and everyone in between, welcome to PlayerTwoFirst.
I'm Player 2.
And I'm Player 1. I almost said I'm Player 2 there.
I almost didn't say I'm Player 2 there.
That would have been so funny.
Hello everyone, welcome to Nighttime PlayerTwoFirst. We're keeping it a little low today because we're not sure if we've been irritating one of our neighbors. We've heard some pounding on the wall every once in a while, and it's 12:30 in the morning, so we're going to be nice and low. We're going to be talking, obviously, but we're going to keep it right about here. If we get excited...
Whoops. You'll bang on the wall again. Yep. But welcome back, everyone, to episode 26 of the Pokemon HeartGold Let's Play here on PlayerTwoFirst. Today, we have stuff to do. It's eclectic. It can't be totally scheduled because we don't know how long a lot of it's going to take. But the first thing is that we have a massive party update to show you guys. A lot has changed since the last time. Melody is the first thing, so we'll just click on them and show you their summaries and stuff. Melody is now level 38. She got a lot more special defense because that's what Milotic does. And you may notice that she is missing a move. We went out and made sure that Whirlpool was forgotten so we can make space for another move that we'll be putting on very, very soon, but not quite yet. We do not have it yet. So you'll see that soon. Next up is Gonzo. Gonzo is now also level 38, so he's gotten a few more levels. I guess I say he, but Z has gotten a few more levels. It's funny because it's Porygon Z. Anyway, same moveset, nothing's changed there, but we did do some grinding to get them all a little bit higher leveled so they can be on par with some of the stuff that's coming up. Next up, we have Mailman. Mailman is, I don't think his moveset has changed either, but he did try to learn Wake Up Slap, but I kept Revenge instead, so he's also level 38. So that's well and good. Nothing much has changed for Mailman, although his attack stat is now ridiculously high, which is really exciting. Hothead's next. Hothead has, again, like the others, not changed, but is now level 39, so a couple of levels there. Merlin, I didn't even get a chance to grind up. Merlin's not super useful inside the next part of the game, so we'll get Merlin to the same level as everyone else, which will be like low 40s after Victory Road, so that should be fine. And lastly, we have Gatry. Now, Gatry is our newest and final member of the team. Rhyhorn, the first place we can find Rhyhorn is here in Victory Road, and we caught this Rhyhorn, we were super excited about it and really ready to use it, and then we looked at it, and it is mild nature, which is arguably the worst possible nature that a Rhyhorn could be. It is lower defense plus special attack, and you can see already, even with that raised special attack, it's still really bad. So this is a solid physical attacker, and it's supposed to be a physically bulky physical attacker, where Milotic is a specially bulky special attacker, and that's kind of to balance out the team. So we don't want to have a lower defense nature on this thing, and it has the wrong ability, which I didn't notice until just checking for this episode. So yes, it has the EXP share. We'll take that off. We will catch a new Rhyhorn and speed that up for you guys, and then we will go get it from the PC, run back here. That's why we don't know how long this episode is going to be. So we'll be right back, everyone. But there will be a new Pokemon. It will be a Rhyhorn. It will be named Gatry. And we'll see you guys back here in a minute.
Right before we do speed up, if you, knowing what Rhyhorn's role is, being super physically attack and defense and stuff, and you get the Gatry reference, it's hilarious.
It also could key you into a future one of our series.
Oh.
So if you get it, you get it.
There was another key part of our channel, actually, that is a similar reference. And if you get the Gatry reference, you probably got that reference also, but it's slightly more obscure because it's possible to miss, whereas Gatry is not possible to miss.
That's fun.
Me too. I sang for 9 hours today. Because I sang the whole ride home, which was 6 hours, and then I also sang for 3 hours at my 3-hour rehearsal.
I sat in my car and got it jumped more times today than I've ever gotten my car jumped in the past.
Yeah!
So that was fun.
What happened?
So I tried to start my car.
Yes.
And it's doing that like, and it starts dinging, and I'm like, okay, it's calm down. Okay, fine. Call my mom. Hey, Mom. Hi. Car won't start. Don't you have DI in half an hour? Yup. Okay. I put Mr. Vittery on. Hi, Mr. Vittery. Like, how's it going? Good. We're on our way to the materials manipulation workshop. Oh, that makes sense. So my car won't start. He's like, is the battery dead? So I was like, one click, and it starts, and it turns on the AC, and it turns on the radio and everything. I'm like, it turns on the radio and AC. He's like, yeah, but that requires like half a volt. And like, turning on your car requires like the full 12 volts. I was like, yeah, it's probably dead. And he's like, call AAA and call us when they answer. I was like, okay. So I hang up on them. Mm-hmm. Call AAA. Sit in my car. Like right outside. Sit in my car. I'm like, so then they're like, are you at home? So I was like, yes. And they're like, is home 11 Petrie Path? I was like, no. They're like, we're going to have to start over. I was like, wait, what? So I was like, okay. So then we get back to the beginning. Where
How
like,
over can we start?
So over was like, well, there's questions like, what is your membership ID? Like the full 16-digit number. And like, like all this information that I had to put in. And they were like, we're going to start over. And I was like, wait, but I just said I wasn't at home. Not like I didn't need roadside assistance and all the information was correct. And so they're like, yeah, we're going to start over. I was like, oh, fine. So, because automated things. Mm-hmm. And so then I start over. And then they're like, yeah, you need an assistant, so we're going to put you in touch with the next available assistant. But they're all taken right now, so hold. I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there for like 20 minutes holding, and no one comes on. And I'm like, well, if I really needed roadside assistance like urgently and didn't have a chance to like walk back into my apartment and be warm, I would be... Anyway. Yeah. So I get the guy, this big black pickup truck rolls in and like backs into the spot like 2 away from me. And like gets out of his car, opens his pickup, pulls out a car battery, and the dude that is parked next to me like walks out, opens his hood, and I was like, huh. So I get out of my car. I'm like, no chance you have a second battery. He's like, there's no chance I have a second battery. I was like, you're probably buds. You're probably not like an actual AAA worker. It's like an unmarked black pickup truck. Can I get a jump? Do either guys have jumper cables? And the guy's like, yeah, I got jumper cables. And I was like, can I get a jump? And he's like, yeah, give me a sec. So they install the battery, which takes literally 5 minutes. This is an important part of the story, by the way. Installing a battery takes 5 minutes. And so he literally took a socket wrench, just batteries in. Turns on car, works. Like, that's it. That's all it really took. There was probably a couple wires that I didn't see him doing, but like, that's really all it took. And so I get this... I was like, okay, so the guy who just got his battery replaced drives to the other side where he needs to like let it run for a minute, and then the pickup truck rolls in, attaches jumper cables, car starts just fine because it's being jumped, which is how that works. It's such an amazing thing that works. Anyway, so I call my mom back. I'm like, hey mom, it's like 12 now. So my car got jumped. I didn't get in touch with AAA. She's like, wait, what? How did any of this happen? Like, long story. Didn't get in touch with AAA. Car got jumped. Can we, like, what do I do now? She's like, here's Mr. Vettery. Okay, fine. So Mr. Vettery, hi, John. So what do I do now? He's like, well, I'm pretty sure your car's battery is dead. Like, it's not going to start again when you turn the car off. It's not like running it for a couple, like 20, 30 minutes. It's going to warm it up and be fine. It's dead. It's like, okay. He's like, well, why don't you go to an auto repair shop, get them to test the battery, and then go from there. And if you need it replaced, then they'll replace it. But don't just have them replace it if they don't test it first, because it may not be dead. Like, totally. It might have just been cold. Okay. So I look up auto repair shop, and there's a million. So I was like, okay. So I drive about 20 minutes to an auto repair shop, and I call them. I was like, hey, can I come in and get you guys to test my battery? I think it's dead. I got it jumped, so I can drive it. Can I come in and get you guys to test it? And then if I need it replaced. And they were like, yeah, you can totally come in. We can fit you in. That's pretty quick. So I was like, great. So I go in and I get up to the counter and I'm like, and there's one guy in front of me that's talking to him. And then there's like I get in there and I'm waiting for that guy, and like 3 more people come in behind me, but like not that many people. It's not like super busy. And so the guy leaves, and I go to the counter, and I was like, hey, I called you like 15 minutes ago. I'm here with a car that's batteries that I just want to get tested and replaced if it needs to be. And the guy's like, yeah, we'll fit you in a sec. It's like, great. So I'm standing there for 20 minutes. And then finally someone comes out with a tester, like a voltage meter, voltometer, if you will, and is like, okay, like, where's your car? So I was like, oh, it's parked on the side, toss him the keys. He's like, great. So he comes back in, he's like, battery's dead. I was like, okay, can I get it replaced? And they're like, we don't have replacements. Like, we're out. Like they normally do. The name of the company was National Tires and Batteries Emporium. But
it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, they have no batteries left. And I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And they were like, well, we recommend you go down to Batteries Plus down the way. And I was like, can I get a jump? Because my car's dead. And they're like, oh yeah, we can totally jump it. So 20 minutes later, they come out with this like jumper box. It's like not jumper box, it's a battery. And they plug it onto my thing and they jump my car. And they're like, okay, they go to Batteries Plus, which is only like 7 minutes away. It's just down the way. I drive down there, and I turn my car off, and I go in, and I'm like, hey. And there's one person in front of me, and there's a bunch of workers there this time. And some dude like comes up from the back, and he's like, hey, like, how can I help you? And I was like, so my car's dead. Battery's dead. Just got it tested. Like, battery's dead. They didn't have any batteries at this place. Can I get a battery? He's like, okay, what model? What make and model? So tell him the make and model, and he's like, wait, they still make that car? I don't think they still make the car, but they made it back in 2008. He's like, oh, okay. So he's like, I don't think we have any of those batteries. And I was like, he's like looking on the shelf, and he's like, I'll check the back, but I'm pretty sure we don't have those because that car is not like, people don't commonly come in with that car. I was like, it makes sense that people don't come in with a 10-year-old car that's no longer produced anymore, but like, come on. And so he goes in the back. He's like, actually, you're in luck. We have both of the batteries. I was like, so it turns out my car can have 2 possible batteries, the 47 group or the 48 group, my make and model of car. And it depends on which one. I don't even know how you could possibly have both, but like, it depends on which one it is. That depends on whether it's the 47 group or 48 group. And so he's like, let's go check which one it is. So we're like, okay. So I go out, pop the hood, we look in. He's like, okay, about this big. Doesn't say, it's unmarked about whether it's 47 or 48 group. So like, let's try the 47. So we come out with 47, and it looks like it's a little small compared to my battery. So he's like, all right, I'll give you the 48. It's like, okay. So go in. He's like, 48 group's gonna be $112. It's a $12 charge if you don't bring your battery back. And I was like, wait, bring my battery back? You mean $12 charge for you to replace it?
Is this a rental?
Install it? And he's like, well, so because it's been so cold out, corporate has told us that we're no longer allowed to do installations. Because we're not allowed to like work outside for like extended periods of time. Like it takes, I saw it. It took 5 minutes, like not even. It was super fast. And the guy's like, yeah, I would totally do it, but I can't. I'll get fired. And I was like, I'm not gonna make you get fired to replace my battery. There's a million places down the road. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take the battery. He's like, I'm gonna waive the fee. Just bring the old one back. Not urgent. Like, do it whenever. Not a big deal. Just bring it back at some point, like in the next week. I assume you're gonna get yours replaced by then. Like, yeah, probably today. And so he's like, it's $112. I was like, okay, that's not in the budget, but don't have a choice. So I take his battery and I bring it back to my car. And I was like, I get back to my car, I put it in the trunk, and I'm like, wait. So I go back in there and I'm like, hey, and he's with some other customer now, but I'm like, excuse me, can I get my car jumped? Because it's still dead and it still doesn't work. And he's like, to the other customer, he's like, oh, do you mind? And the other customer's like, no, totally. Like, I totally get it. Like, go get his car jumped. So the guy comes out with another one of those battery things that jumps cars. And I'm like, I need one of those. I don't need one of those, but like, it's not an unuseful thing to have if it doesn't cost $10,000, which it probably does. And you know what I need? Jumper cables. That's what I need. But anyway, so I get this. He jumps my car. So I drive back to the National Tire and Battery Emporium. And
The National Tire Emporium.
and I'm like, hey, so I brought the battery, but they can't do the installation there. He's like, they can't do the installation. I was like, they can't do the installation there. Have the battery in the trunk. Can you install here? He's like, well, yeah, it'll take a couple hours because we're super backed up. And I was like, okay, because people kept coming in for tire replacements, and like, it literally, like, there was a constant stream of people when I was staying there that were just like coming in being like, so all 4 of my tires are dead? And I'm like, how does that even? And he's like, yeah, okay. So then he like goes into the back and looks at them. He's like, so you drove on snow. That was the clunking sound you heard. Your car's fine. And the guy's like, no, are you sure the car's fine? Like, I'm pretty sure I heard something like bad. And the guy's like, we checked every possible thing that would ever be a problem for your tires. And literally, we're pretty sure you just drove on snow. And that was the sound that snow makes when you drive on it. And the guy's like, no, like, are the treads okay? Or like the tires okay? Like, I think I need them replaced. He's like, we're not going to sell you something you don't, like, this happened for like 15 minutes. So I was like, okay, this dude's having a day. I'm also having a day, but like, these days are overlapping, and I would love for them to overlap for fewer amount of time.
I didn't mean to leave.
And so, I was like, so can you do it? He's like, yeah, but it'll take a couple hours. And I was like, okay. So I call my mom. At this point, it's like,
Mother?
1:30. It's like, hey mom. And she's like, what's up? And I was like, so here's the saga. I'm sitting in the National Tire and Battery Emporium. They don't have batteries, but they install batteries. And I have a battery. Don't ask. And they said that it'll take a couple hours for them to install it. Now I'm supposed to be back home doing things from 12 o'clock. It's 1:30. And she's like, okay, well, you can come back here, get them to jump it, come back here, we'll call AAA. But I had D&D at 5 o'clock, an hour away from there. An hour away from where mom is. So I was like, I was only going to come back there till 4 anyway. There's no guarantee AAA is going to be there by 4 because they take forever. But they do free battery installation. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to come back all the way down south to go back north. So I looked at the guy and I was like, so can you do it? Like, I have plan at 5. Can you do it so that I can be there? And he looked at the clock, and at this point it's like 2 o'clock. He's like, yeah, I think we can do it. That shouldn't be a problem. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. And he's like, but I'm gonna have to pay you for a difficult battery installation as opposed to a simple battery installation in order to expedite the process so that we do it faster. And I was like, how do you do it? It's the same. Okay, fine. He's like, well, part of it's policy that if you bring your own battery, it's difficult. And I was like, you didn't have batteries. I showed up with a battery.
I should have one of your batteries.
Yeah, I would have loved one of your batteries instead, but I had no choice. Fine. He's like, it's the difference between like $15 and $25. I was like, fine. $25 is fine. As long as you can make sure I'm done by 4. It's 2. He's like, yeah, okay. We can do that for the extra fee. So it's $27. I was like, wait, what? Fine. Stop. And so he's like, okay, where'd you park? I parked out front. He like wrote up a work order for it. I was like, batteries in the trunk. He's like, okay, fine. So I'm sitting there. I go into the waiting room area where they have like a television and coffee machine and everything. And I'm sitting there and it's like 3. This dude comes in. He's like, hey, who's got the rabbit? So I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, so the battery you bought is the wrong size. Well, he said this is the wrong battery. I was like, what? He's like, well, no. It's the right battery. It's the car battery, but it's the wrong size. You have a holder, and the holder is smaller than the battery. I was like, so you're telling me that I should have gotten the 47 groups instead of 48 groups? He's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. I was like, he's like, surprised I knew. And I was like, well, okay. He's like, so can you get that? I was like, no. I was like, is there a way it can fit? He's like, well, it's about 1 inch too big for the holder. I can try to like squeeze it into the holder and see if the holder will stretch. It's just hard plastic. Or I can just take the holder out, which is just a piece of plastic that's like holding the battery. It really doesn't do anything for the car, and it's not more dangerous not to have it in there. It's just not in. It's just in there because like it looks nicer.
Now, as a quick interlude, I was driving from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts today, which is a long drive, and my phone is just exploding because we're in a group chat of people who were supposed to be seeing Robert today. And so I'm like, what on earth is going on? And like, I've got a smartwatch. It comes to my watch every once in a while. I'd see a few words, and there was something involving a battery, and like, oh, but they're doing fine, and like, oh, the holder's too small. Like, I have no idea what's going on. So I finally get to a rest stop to like go to the bathroom and get gas and stuff. And I read through this just saga, and I'm like, he'll tell me later.
So I was like, you know what? I appreciate you coming and telling me. Like, I'm glad. I don't mean to be snappy, but like, take the plastic thing out, dude. Like, I'm not worried about it. It's purely cosmetic, and no one's gonna look in my hood, under my hood, and be like, ugh, that's so ugly. That's just like not a spot that like people are judgmental of. I'm like, just take it out. He's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, still sitting there. Remember, I watched someone else install a battery in someone else's car in like 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, it's like 3:40. He comes out and he's like, who's got the rabbit? I raise my hand. He's like,
it's somebody else now. That guy.
And so he's like, yeah, it's all done. You can come pay for it, because you pay at the end. So I go up there and I pay, and I'm like, thanks for the work and everything. Where is the car? He's like, right out front. I was like, great. So I take the keys and I go into the car. And now my car, historically, this is a 10-year-old car, and I have never replaced a battery in it. So like, it's been kind of dying, and it's been gradual, so I haven't really noticed it. But like when I turn the car on, it does that like thing where it hits like a couple's, like it tries a couple times and it hits it. And this time it just didn't hit it. So this new battery is a bigger battery. It's a more powerful battery, and it's a new battery. And so I literally got in there, it was like, and I was like, wow, that's intense. And so like turns on instantly. So I drive back to Batteries Plus. Oh yeah, we're not done. I do have a new battery now. We're not done yet. I drive back to Batteries Plus. Did she learn a move?
Yes. Attract.
Ooh, melody.
Yes.
And so I drive back to Batteries Plus, get the other battery, bring it in. Dude's like, you all set? I was like, yeah, I think so, right? Like, I don't owe you anything or anything. He's like, no, I waived the fee before, right? I was like, yeah, you didn't pay. I didn't pay anything. He's like, great. Otherwise, we'd have to do some paperwork and have you fill some stuff out, whatever, and like get that money back. And I was like, nope, didn't make me pay it. So he's like, great. So I leave. Right next to the Batteries Plus was a gas station, and so I like turn my car on, and it's just like that, and just like hits it, and I was like, oh, this is so satisfying. So then I pull out, go into the gas station, get gas, and again turn my car back on. It's just so satisfying to hear like, and just like hits it, and it's just good. And then I'm like, okay, so now it's like 3:45, and I need to leave around 4:15. What do I do for half an hour? Now it's like just not enough time to do anything. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back to the apartment and eat lunch. But I know we always get dinner at D&D as well, so I don't want to eat now and then eat again in an hour. So I'm like, okay. So I get back to the apartment, park the car, come upstairs, and meanwhile my computer has been sitting in the car this whole time, which is not ideal because it's been freezing. And so I come back into the apartment, I get a bowl of carrots, and eat the bowl of carrots while I edit a video. And then I did some stuff for this, like the grinding and stuff, and then for like half an hour. And I brought my computer up. And then I left after half an hour and went to D&D. But I missed my entire first, like, everything. And it took almost a little over 4 hours to do what should have been a 5-minute installation. So that was my day today, for anyone who's curious. Meanwhile, wow, we've been recording for half an hour and haven't seen a single Rhyhorn.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you were seeing them all the time. You're like, weird, that's just 5%, and I've seen like 20 of them in the past 15 encounters.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You used it all.
I did.
Now, I thought, and I had actually mentioned this in the group chat that I told you about before. I thought I was going to have the most exciting day driving through 3 states. But so what was funny about that is that
switch melody with somebody.
Yeah, so I was talking to my sister on Saturday, and she was just like sending me links to funny pictures and stuff, and which I appreciated.
Smoke ball, yeah.
But
you got me.
Yeah, but she sent me like 5 or 6 of them in the span of about 15 minutes. So I was like, well, you sound like you're having a fun day. And she said, yeah, I haven't moved since like 5 p.m. yesterday. I haven't like gotten off the couch since 5 p.m. yesterday. I said, wow, I drove to Pennsylvania today. And she said, what now? And I had told her, but just she had forgotten. So this was like a big surprise to her. And then I was talking to...
Aha!
Amazing.
You need to tell stories more.
So I was talking to my mom.
Don't kill it.
What should I use? Bullet punch.
Yeah, bullet punch would be fine. It's super effective, but it's like super weak. So
Sure.
And it also theoretically should have a lot of physical defense.
Great. So I was texting my mom. It was at the same rest stop that when I actually responded to the group chat. And she had said, I had asked her a question the night before. And then she had gotten back to me by the time I was at this rest stop. And so I messaged her back. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense, thanks. And she said, where are you? Because my sister must have talked to her between when I talked to my sister and when I talked to my mom. And I said, Fairfield, Connecticut, I'm about to get back on the road. And she said, where are you going and why? And I was like, I was a little miffed by this. I was like, first of all, I am a grown-ass man and can go wherever I want for whatever reason. But then I actually explained to her, I was like, I went to Philadelphia to see an old camp friend who lives in Mexico, and I don't ever get the chance to see it. It's been a year and a half, and I don't know when I'm going to see her again. And I met her boyfriend, who's super cool, and we watched movies, and I don't need to tell you all this. And she was like, oh yeah, I forgot you did mention that. Because I've been planning this since July. So I was like, you should know.
I thought I was about to say Rhyhorn's evolving. I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
Perfect.
Great.
I can live with those.
What is Sassy?
Sassy is minus speed plus special defense. Fine.
Sure.
This thing is not outspeeding anything anyway.
No, and what's Rock Hard?
Rock head.
That's what I meant to say.
What's Rock Hard? My ass. Not that. Not those. Rock head means that it does not take recoil from attacks that otherwise would give it recoil.
Oh.
Yes, which none of its final moveset moves are planned to, but it's still better than Lightning Rod for the things that it'll get in the meantime, like Takedown that it has right now.
Great.
You didn't get Murkrow.
You are absolutely right that I didn't do that.
That was the whole point. Well, that wasn't the whole point. That was half the point.
We'll get you again.
We'll be back. So what we're going to do now, before we go on to Victory Road, because we want to be excited and invested in that, so we want to do it during the day, is go do one more little side questy thing that we haven't shown off before this, which is the Goldenrod City Game Corner.
Because there's always more to do in Goldenrod.
And the Goldenrod City Game Corner has a very interesting game, in my opinion, and this is a not shared opinion by everyone. I actually pulled my stream the other day, and it was very mixed. My opinion, the best Game Corner game in any game of Pokemon that we've seen to date.
I also share that opinion.
Because there's actual strategy to it, and you can plan and win and do well at it.
It's a logic game. It's a logic puzzle.
Where are you going?
Not there.
Yes.
Oh, actually, I am gonna give Melody her moves back.
Wait, what?
She's down to like
0,
1, and 1.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like Whirlpool. I was like, no, we've been over this.
And you do that in the Pokemon Center.
I mean, you could. TMs or HMs are anywhere.
Okay, sure.
But anyway, so Voltorb Flip is a game in which, and I'll explain it a little bit more when we see it, but it's a game in which you can actually plan and win and do well and be better at, as opposed to just slots where you just either get lucky or don't. And I don't know why people don't like it, because it's actually a fun strategy game, but it is kind of slow paced. And so do you not have a coin case?
No.
It's in the underground.
Oh.
So you gotta go do that. Yes. Does he give you a coin case in this one? Oh.
Perfect.
Never mind. Good job.
Okay.
Way to do the thing. It's in the underground in the original Gen 2 games. But that's also where you have actual slots, so.
Yes.
So the way this game works...
Mr. Game.
...is that... Please don't tell me he's gonna teach us. Just hit play. We both know how to play.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of Voltorbs, 1s, 2s, and 3s hidden under the panels. The number on each row, or in each thing, will show you... I mean, you can just flip them if you want.
Yeah.
Is how many... The top number is how many points there are cumulatively sum in each row or column. And the second number next to the Voltorb is how many Voltorbs there are in that row or column. So at the bottom you see he saw a 5-0, which means there's no Voltorbs there. So it's got to be 5 1s, because the sum of 5 non-Voltorbs must be all 1s. There's no other combination that could lead to that. So at the end, what's going to happen is if you don't hit any Voltorbs and you flip over all the 2s and 3s, it multiplies all the 2s and 3s together, and you get that many points, or that many coins. You have to collect coins. Now, the reason we need to play this, and you can see how many coins we've currently collected, which is 1. You need to unlock at least 1 in order to like start the multiplier up. And so once you get 1, you'll see it multiplied by 3 and then multiplied by 3 again. But all the 1s multiplied by 1, so it's just, there's still 1. So in this one, there were 3 3s, and so we found them all. So he gets 27 coins because it's 1 times 3 times 3 times 3. As you go higher in the levels, you can get way more coins, but the levels do get harder to logically solve. And at times, they are impossible to logically solve, which I can see why that would be a frustration for people. Because why would you play a game that's designed to be a strategic game like Sudoku or anything like that that is literally impossible to solve logically? And so we're going to show you guys until we struggle and lose a couple in a row. And then the point of this is that one of the things that we want to teach Melody is a TM you get for collecting coins in this game. Now, we have 27. Dan, would you like to tell people how much this TM costs?
10,000.
You see how many zeros there are there? It's a lot.
That many. It's
So,
that many.
We will not be doing that live for you guys. In fact, the other day I went and did it on the Soul Silver cartridge that we've been playing on the side, and did it. I have acquired 10,000 coins in that game of Voltorb Flip. I've spent way too long trying to do that, so we will be bringing that TM into this game through that, and giving it to Melody that way. But you guys can probably guess which TM it is if you know anything about the TMs that are available here. They're actually really, really good TMs that are available here. Excuse me. You can get, I believe, all 3 of the best, in my opinion, the best TMs that aren't Earthquake in the game, in Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam through this, as well as some other really interesting TMs, Pokemon, stuff like that. So it is worth your time to play if you enjoy things like this. And personally, for me, I do. And so I didn't have any trouble playing it and enjoying it. But the chance for me to play it on like this is probably not the most entertaining gameplay of all time for you guys. So we wanted to make sure we showed it off to show you guys what it is, what it's like, and how it works, but we didn't want to make you watch us do 10,000 coins worth of it. Are you in that spot where it's impossible to dig to get it? Luckily for you, the other one doesn't have to be a bomb.
Which one?
If you get it wrong, it doesn't have to be a bomb. That time that I showed it to you, it was like either a bomb or correct.
Right.
So you can just guess.
A.
You have like a good chance that you're not gonna die. No, you know it's the top corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do it. Yeah, because that should be the last one.
Yeah.
So we will show you guys until we struggle, and then you guys will get a. There was a bomb in there though, if you had guessed wrong. Now each level does get a little bit harder. But that one's got 6 zeros, so you're good there. There's a 9-1 and an 8-1 intersection. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like that.
Yeah.
The 033 is done. It's just O's and 1.
Oh, you're right.
And the 023 is just O's and 1s. Or bombs 1s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hadn't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
So that one's a bomb.
That doesn't really
yeah,
matter.
it doesn't help us at all.
Yeah.
The 8 is at 3. So the 8 needs a 2 and a 2, I believe. And then a bomb and a 1. So that should be 2.
Yay.
So you guys can see how the first level got 27 and this level we got 144. So even by level 3 you're making significantly more coins.
The max for this round is 15,000. I am kidding.
I wish. The highest I've ever gotten, I think, was level 9. And that was kind of on a fluke of like, just fluke of luck that I got there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That 043 is terrifying.
Yeah. The 033 is pretty bad too.
Yeah, 033s are the worst. Because you know there's a 2 there, but there's a lot of bombs.
Yeah.
I would go with the 5171 intersection at the top.
Oh, you're right.
Better than
yes.
blowing up. 71 is 2221, I think.
Or 3121.
Yeah, but either way, one of those two has to be a 2 or a 3, right?
Yeah.
The bottom one can't be a 3. Yes, it can. It could be 311.
Yeah.
And the top one is a 3 or a 2.
Right.
Yeah, it could be 2 2s or 3 2 or 3 1. I would also potentially be okay with the 7152, the blue intersection.
Yay.
Just on mathematical probability.
Yeah.
52 is 221 if it's a 2 showing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that 71 has another 2 in it for sure. So this is where you hit those points where you're like, logically, there's no way to determine which one it is, and you just kind of have to intuit what makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
That 043 has another 2.
Yep.
That's the worst. So it has to be 02s. Yeah. I say zeros, but they're bombs. But
Right.
They look like zeros.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like the 5-1.
Ah,
That's the one.
alas.
So we'll go one more time.
Yeah.
Try to show you guys getting to the next level. There's a 10. That's rare. Also hitting the 1 on the 7-8 intersection is crazy.
Yeah.
So the 8-10 intersection just can't be not a 3.
There you go.
The 023 and the 014 and the 041 are... Oh, those are all bombs at the bottom. That's really convenient, actually.
Oh, you're right.
That's super convenient, because then you know where... No. Those are all 1s.
Right.
And then the 10 row is all not bombs. Also, a column.
Right.
I mean, there's a bomb, but it's the bottom one.
Yeah.
And then the 6 needs a 1, so that's done. So both 6s need a 1, so it's got to be the 8. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sometimes you get really lucky, and the maths are really easy. Also, we just made more coins in this one than we made in all the previous ones combined.
I thought the first one was 250 something.
It was 235 and 243.
Alas.
One more time.
Yeah.
Until we're like really struggling, and it's not just like board screwing us over.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see how like more of them are like 4 or like 2 bombs, so that like even if this row has a bomb, you know it's not guaranteed anywhere else, and they almost all have like some numbers that aren't 1s, and it's frustrating as you get higher.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5-1 and then the 6-2 with a 2. And then the 5-1's done. The 6-2 with a 3. No, that's not done. There's no 2 there.
Right.
I think you're gonna have to guess. So it's a bomb. Because the other one can't be a 2. The 042 can't be a
Right.
2. And then the 024, so that's a bomb.
Which is in a 2/4, so that doesn't really help us.
Yeah. And every row can still hold a 2. Every row can still hold a 2. So your best statistical chance to not hit a bomb is the 062-052 in the not quite upper left, but one below. Statistics suck.
And alas. So you have a flavor of the game.
Yes.
Now we definitely did not do a good job of showing you how fun it is, but I have spent hours on end playing this game because even if it's not like whippity-dee, it draws you in and you get super into it, especially if you like something like Sudoku or crosswords or whatever. If you're a logic puzzle kind of person, this is the game for you.
And like he said, we've spent hours sitting here with this game 2 days ago. So, with that, everyone, we have the newest team member acquired. That took way longer than we expected it to. We've shown you guys more of what you can do in Goldenrod, and guess what? We'll be back here soon.
Because there's always more to do in Goldenrod. Until then, see you next time.
God, there is always more to do in Goldenrod.
There is always more to do in Goldenrod.